9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
What up, y'all? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad. This is the WWT Live edition, and I'm clearly not on the sick side, but we're here. And somebody who is joining us, Teflon G, a.k.a. Hollywood G, a.k.a. Suited and Booted to the Planet, a.k.a. the man of the voice, a.k.a. NXT Bonafide. The professor is in building.
What's up, TK? How are you?
I'm good. I might. We're gonna get into your WrestleMania moments because y'all, Professor and I were in the same city, and I didn't see Professor, but we'll get into that.
Oh, we're gonna do that? Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get into it. The sweetest Oos is in the building as well. She must put her shades on.
Mm-hmm. I just in case, because you never know. You never know, and especially when it's story time. So
stories, there's no stories.
I'm very happy to be here. It's Friday, Honey Night Smackdown. Lots to be anticipating. Super excited, and still recovering from WrestleMania. And we're gonna get more aftermath. It's gonna be fun.
The more aftermath. So I guess we might need some PR after this is all done. Courtney Rice.
Yes. Happy Friday, folks. We're finally here after WrestleMania. Yeah, there was some backlash in the PR world, but we'll get into that later on today. But I'm just happy to be here. It's Friday.
Is it really does Friday feel like the same? Because Friday don't feel like the same like it used to feel like, because just Friday just feels like another day. Like it's like, oh, it's Friday. It's just like it doesn't hit like it used to hit. Or is that just me?
I think it just depends. It depends on the perspective, I guess. Because Friday, I'm happy today. I'm like Friday was, running some errands, was able to live life a little bit, enjoy a day off, and then come to work here, which doesn't feel like work. So I mean, Friday felt like a Friday for me today. So and just got paid.
Hey. That's a classic. That's a classic.
Yeah. Always good. All of the feels, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Dylan, it's like Saturday, so of course it doesn't feel like Friday.
Exactly.
What up,
it's Saturday, sticky. Ooh, ooh. That's what it is over there.
Fernando, what up, Isaac? Eric. Thanks for joining. I think I saw Bosa in there as well. Y'all crazy. All right, and last but not least, the man with the plan. I think he's taking notes. The councilman, Will Ferrell, is in the building.
I came up with this fantastic idea called TK Bingo that we going to play. I'm not going to send it to you, but I'm going to send it to everybody else. And when you are on live, we are going to play TK Bingo. I already got a few. I'm going to talk to them privately which one else should go up. Like, when she goes,
y'all see how they do me? Y'all see how they do me?
That's a bingo. When she goes Beulah, that's a bingo. When she does a horrible segue, you bingo. When she mentions pounding the streets, you could get bingo. Hold up, I gotta walk my dog. That's a bingo. Also,
segues.
Whenever she makes Professor shake his head. That was, we all gonna get one of those. Yeah. Any other ones, just put them in the group chat, and I'm gonna make us a TK bingo card.
Wow. You see how they do me, y'all. You see
how they do me. Yeah.
See how they do me.
Yeah, that's another one because she's just been so victimized.
I have.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Jeffrey, that's what we're doing, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
good one, Jeffrey. Good one.
Yep.
Good one.
4-6. Yeah.
Good one. I have a story about that too, but
since we haven't, I didn't see you on Wednesday nor Monday. And we did talk about our WrestleMania weekend. I think Sed and Will were on the thing on Monday. Tell us about your WrestleMania experience.
Mania week was fantastic. It was such an honor. Last year was my first time going with an opportunity to work, and that was working at All Caribbean's Philly Mania event last year. This year had the opportunity to work 2 events, one being with Fighting Evolution Wrestling, which encompassed many of the talent from All Caribbean. That was for Sin City Burn, and Ashe Wrestling for Ashe Vegas. Both of those shows were on the same day. Ashe Vegas was at 11 a.m. Sin City Burn was at 11 p.m.
Wow.
So definitely a lot of work, but it was it was so exhilarating. It was so exciting to be in the room with so many great content creators, podcasters, just beautiful people in this space. And, it was great. I got to meet some people who I hadn't had a chance to connect with yet. And that was just amazing. Got to hang with the councilman and the mayor. And we had just an amazing time.
Those pictures made my heart smile. I was like,
yeah. And
that was very dope. It really was.
Look at him. Look at him.
To meet Kane as well. For those who are from the kind of the foundational days of WWT Live, you'll remember Kane. So all of us were.
You never met Kane in person?
I had never met Kane in person.
Oh wow! Okay.
Prior to this, so
Wow.
that was fun, and it was definitely an experience. One of the things I've worked in these spaces for a while, and when you have met people virtually, when you meet them in person, there's always wondering, like, are they going to be like they are on TV, that type of thing. And everybody was as advertised, which is really, really cool. I got to shout out my guys, the councilman, the mayor. Like it was peas in a pod, man. Like it was just great.
It definitely looked
great. I thought
it really did.
Promo about popping balloons.
Oh, not just any balloons, apparently.
TK, Okay, so she doesn't. Okay, so you guys want stories, right? You want stories. Back up. Before I get to the stories,
honey? Just encouraging.
Before I get to the stories, I gotta shout out all the great things at Ashe Wrestling. If you guys didn't check out Ashe Vegas, go back and check it out. Some very historic moments. Kev on stage, of course, the comedian who was on commentary, and we had a blast. We announced the first ever Ashe Wrestling Women's Championship, and the tournament began Thursday as well. So it was just a great, great time. Just absolutely loved it. So a couple of quick stories. Thursday night, we had our show with Fighting Evolution Wrestling. TK and I were doing commentary, and the first match involved a certain Rios de la Sangre, the Fighting Evolution Wrestling champion.
Wow.
And by the way, both of the shows were packed houses. It was great. And during the middle of the match, I really need some video on this somewhere. During the middle of the match, Rios has finished some move on his opponent, and he is, we're talking like 10, 15 minutes into the match. He leans against the ropes, looks over at the commentary desk, and begins talking specifically loudly to TK, inviting her to call him, all of the things. And, she tried to act completely oblivious. But the whole room heard it. Everybody heard it. This was not anyone's imagination. And she tried to act like it didn't happen. It was quite interesting. You'll also be interested in knowing that later that night, one of the other wrestlers in a match was telling her rather forcefully to talk nicely about him. He used profanity. TK, who clearly, if you saw the reel today, you understand that she warms up differently than I do. And she proceeded to respond to this wrestler with the same vulgarity that he used at her. She completely forgot she's on the air.
Cut that. Dylan, cut that.
She completely forgot she was on the air. She completely forgot she was sitting next to me and didn't even realize she cussed and cussed bad. And I was like, oh, okay. That's what we're doing. Friday, I meet up with the councilman and the mayor, and we're excited. And, you know, all the mayor wants to do is get all of us together from Women's Wrestling Talk and get with TK and just get a picture to capture the moment. And, you know, TK's so busy. You know, she's doing charity work. She's, in her words, shaking hands and kissing babies. So busy that she can't meet with us. So apparently she moved from one location to the other. The second location she was at was her new hotel, which was going to be the location for the event that we were attending, Fourth Rope. Shout out to Westside Gun and all the folks over at Fourth Rope. An amazing show, by the way, which was slated to start at midnight, started more so at like 12:30. So we're literally in the same physical building as TK Trinidad. Ask if we got the picture with TK. At this point, Kane is here. So all of us from WWT are here. And our fearless leader, only God knows what she was doing, because she wasn't at Fourth Rope. She wasn't anywhere around us, you know, knowing that, you know, I would be leaving the next day. Interestingly enough, I would see later on that she managed to connect with the mayor and the councilman on Sunday. Mind you, this was Friday night. We were trying to connect with her. So, yeah, I'm not worthy to be in the WWT live pictures with the boss because, well, I'm only her commentary partner who she doesn't need to do research with. So,
wow.
My WrestleMania experience was amazing. Oh, and I was actually kind of blown away too. Shout out to my friends over at Black Wrestling Alliance who were kind enough to include me in their Wrestle and Drip Mania edition. So apparently they liked what I wore, and so I'm grateful to be listed amongst such great company. So yeah, Mania was a great time. Really looking forward to next year.
Courtney, do you have anything as far as PR, what I should say?
Don't tell her a thing, Courtney. Let her talk. She does all of her research. She warmed up. She should know what to say right now. Go ahead.
People be Googling.
Me.
That was a funny clip. Shout out to Sarah, because I totally forgot that. I was so delusional that day. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go over to All Caribbean Wrestling, their social media. And
she was very sober when she did that.
Extremely sober.
No, Professor. Wasn't that day where we were like 12 hours and I was just like,
but
singing the
we didn't do it that late. We didn't record that clip that late. I'm certain of that.
Bring like a jacket later on.
So anyway, back to the show.
So anything I should say, Courtney? Appreciate
it.
Courtney, let her cook.
Before you say that, Courtney, let me also add. Where I was living was an hour and a half away. Don't ask me. And I still made this picture. Also, to add it, on Sunday, she was supposed to come watch WrestleMania with us. And she came at the last match. The last match, John Cena and Cody Rhodes.
The last one, though.
Came to the last one and watched it.
Now, let me add this to Councilman. If you want to know, you've heard our explanation, you've heard what happened. You can go on her Instagram feed and see what she was actually doing while she wasn't getting pictures with us. DDP was more important. The Remix Rumble was more important. Wow. You know, Mark Henry was more important. Let me tell you what else she did.
The Busted Open dinner.
That was more important. You know what else she did? This is TK an hour and a half before the show we were trying to all link up at, met one of my industry friends who's a very good personal friend of mine. Oh, at the dinner. Great. Yes. Met him and took a picture with him and sent it to me, but couldn't meet with me and the rest of the team because we're not important enough.
Mind you, this event is in the same hotel.
Same hotel. She didn't even have to catch an Uber for it. All she had to do was come downstairs.
That was it. Like elevator. Don't even have to go into the event.
No.
Then text us of like, yo, what time does it start? Hey, y'all down there? Yes. Nothing.
Yeah. Nothing. Nope.
Nada.
Cindy, I'm done with you.
We was there till 5 a.m. almost.
We were.
Could have had time to sleep. Could have had time to do anything.
We weren't asking for a meeting. Like, we weren't trying to discuss the business of WWT Live. We just wanted to document the fact that we were all in the same place at the same time. But clearly, I am definitely not important enough. We collectively were not important enough.
Technically, I saw every person.
Wait, no. First of all, you started the show off by saying we were in the same city and you didn't see me. So figure out which one is true. Secondly, your team is coming together. Your team is coming to. Oh, so wait. What that means is I must not be part of the team.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
It's like the Planeteers. Like we all saw each other, but we didn't meet up to form to make Captain Planet.
Correct.
Right.
You can't do it with fire, water, and just Earth. Like we missing there the other ones, and the other one upstairs don't want to come down.
Cousin Ron, we couldn't form like Voltron. Precisely.
Precisely. Voltron had one leg.
Thank you, Benjamin. Wow. Oh my goodness.
So the next big one is what? SummerSlam. That's going to be in
Jersey.
Okay.
It's gonna
be
SummerSlam will be in Jersey. I'm thinking I don't know. That's my birthday weekend, so we'll see.
Well,
that means she's definitely not. If any members of WWT, if you're planning to go, it is her birthday, so she absolutely will not have time.
Whose birthday was during Elimination Chamber?
Whose birthday was during the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, you said you had to go to Toronto because it's a birthday, and then it was right before Elimination Chamber. Was that you or your mom's birthday?
Toronto. Oh, yeah, it was my mom's birthday.
Yeah, Boss Lady's a Leo. I know that.
Yeah, no, I remember a birthday. I was like, didn't you?
No, my birth season starts June 15th, and then my birth weekend is the first week of August.
So you wouldn't celebrate your birthday by being surrounded with people you care about and wrestling?
It depends on if somebody wants to take me to an island.
Nope, that's too easy. That's too easy.
But
as if she hasn't been to islands already this year.
I was just no, never mind.
It might be it might be a different island. It might be Hawaii. Like there's islands.
Well,
now, all right. Well, see, if it's that island, then I'm gonna say go.
Honey, don't do that because she didn't miss hotel rooms, jet skis. I'm sure she didn't miss somebody saying
for sure. They probably already invited her. But as a matter of fact, I can tell you what I saw when we were in the Bahamas. The one gentleman who was trying to give her a free ride on a jet ski was trying to take her from one island to another, and she said no. So,
absolutely. Oh my God. Really, Professor? Really?
Did it not happen?
It did happen, but I didn't know this, man. I would not be sitting here right now. I could be cut up on some island. I didn't know this, man.
Ain't nobody cutting you up, TK. Stop playing.
Oh my goodness.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
So you're trying to tell
you are a
with somebody I didn't know to go to some random island by myself. Like that's not safe. What are we talking about?
Like you are a damsel in distress. Okay.
Oh my goodness! So I should just put
you'd have turned that whole thing over.
Oh my goodness!
We have spent so much time talking
just
about
because
this. Aren't there articles to talk about? Isn't there something going on in the wrestling world?
But to be fair, you would think how much you think people Google you that you wouldn't
that part. So since they gonna
know where you at, right?
Oh my goodness. All right.
I can't defend none of this.
Oh,
I'm
here-
sorry,
here-
but- Oh shit!
The mayor. Perfect timing, mayor.
Nobody
my
even
brother,
said
my
his name, and he appeared.
Mhm.
Look at it.
Um,
Come on, Zed.
Wait, what did I just walk into?
We,
I have
we-
no
we-
idea.
we were-
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott.
Yes.
Yo, now, yeah, we were just talking
We're
about how
going through the
TK
WWT roast.
we were talking about how TK didn't think we were good enough to get a picture with.
That is so incorrect.
Oh, that's a perfect segue for me. Because TK doesn't know what today is. So
How
let
about
me
that?
remind you. 2
Oh,
years ago
no.
today, I joined this illustrious
Happy
network.
anniversary,
And demand
Zed.
respect on my name, and I
happy-
got just that. But do I get any bells and whistles? Do I get a social media post? I get none of these things, you know?
Nothing.
And that's why I wore this shirt to remind you guys exactly who I am. But does
There
TK
it is.
respect it?
Oh.
He doesn't respect it. You know? I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was talking to
Which
Peter
day? You remember
Rosenberg,
the
and
day
TK
joining
kept
or
tapping
the
me
day-
on the shoulder,
you
and I
remember
said,
the day
"Excuse
that
me,
you
ma'am,
blew
no
up
pictures."
WWT?
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Do you remember the day joining, or do you remember the day that you blew up WWT? Because there's 2 days.
We don't talk about that day. We're talking about the day that you.
Wait, what day was that?
let's-
We're
let's-
talking about the day that you.
We're gonna start the news. That's all.
Let me fix my volume so I can hear y'all clearly.
Honey's like, wait, what? When did I? You have to. I said to tell you the story.
No,
You have to
okay.
wait till the documentary comes out.
There's no story.
You know,
There's
us
no
Aries,
story.
we're attracted to fire.
But congratulations, Mayor.
Congratulations.
Yes, no, seriously, congratulations.
There hasn't been a
Congratulations.
single-
Awesome, sir.
there hasn't been a single day of respect from TK since I joined this platform.
Nope.
I'm just
A
want to let you guys
single
know that.
day.
Oh, well, just to throw it out there, then in 2 weeks will be my anniversary, May 7th.
Mhm. Mhm.
Listen, y'all, Maximum was here for a year.
Well, you know, no one ever said anything about my anniversary. So
Mm-mm.
Oh my.
Or my birthday. I was here when my birthday happened. I ain't get no
See?
post.
see.
Honey got a whole post on the show and everything.
Mhm.
I ain't get nothing.
Yeah.
I get it.
Nothing.
I get it.
I can see what it is. When I was with TK at the Queen of the Ring carpet, and I quote said, "I don't want any penises." So I didn't know that I was a part of that. You know, being an employee.
Quick
But I guess
question,
I qualify in that
Mayor,
umbrella as well.
did she ever introduce you to who you asked to be introduced to?
She left. Lindsay left. I know who you're talking about. She left.
There was a full gap of time for that to happen, though.
No, yeah. When I came back and sat with you guys, she literally texted me and she said, "Remember I asked you guys about almost the party? That's where she went."
Wait, who's Lindsay?
Well,
Never
we'll
mind.
talk
Never
about
mind.
it
You talking about when I say introduce me to your friend TK?
later.
Yeah, that's.
I wasn't talking about her.
Oh,
I
You know
can't.
who he's talking about.
I can't disclose that here because now I know that person is happily in a relationship. But
oh.
to paint the picture for TK, you knew this person at the WrestleCon, quite literally. But
It makes
You know.
sense, Deal. It makes sense now. It makes sense. We get it now.
That's a WrestleCon. I
yeah,
don't know who that was.
she's
Actually,
wearing
no,
pink. Yeah,
If that don't give it away.
you took a picture
Oh.
of her. You took a
If
picture
that
of
don't give it away. Okay.
I
then
took
yeah,
a
we
picture
just move
of
on.
her.
like when you first got to WrestleCon.
So these stories that we
Yeah.
got today.
Is she in a relationship now?
I don't know what. I don't
Yeah,
even
she's
know
a performer.
afterwards.
But
She's a performer.
yeah.
Was she a stripper?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, stripper at WrestleCon.
So
yeah.
shout out to Carrie and Cross, who has been doing a lot of work on these good socials. And it is now believed after all of the work that he's been doing on the socials, Carrie and Cross is expected to get extended opportunities on TV. What are your thoughts on Carrie and Cross being able to get some extended opportunities on TV? Honey, you started clapping. What do you think?
All I can think is it's about damn time. I have been advocating for a Carrie and Cross push for quite some time, and I feel like finally he's catching fire. People are really digging the work that he's putting through social media. He's also a really brilliant creative mind behind the scenes. He just also came out with a film that entered a film festival that did really well. I think he's got a lot of things going for him. And TikTok mofos, TikTok, because Carrie and Cross is coming.
Courtney, let me ask you this. Just how well do you think Carrie and Cross's social media presence has played into him getting these proposed additional opportunities?
It has played very supportive. It's similar to what Drew McIntyre has done when he was on social. So it's just so awesome to see Carrie and Cross do all these funny social contents on all of his channels. As Honey mentioned, he has a movie, an independent movie. So I'm very happy to see him because he is quite the character on his socials. And also with everything with AJ Styles that he's feuding with, that can also help too. And I just enjoy his content very much. But it does really do play that he's consistent, he's on it, and he knows exactly what he wants to post on social media.
Councilman, let me. No. Sorry, I'll come back to you, Councilman. TK, what do you think these opportunities should look like for Carrie and Cross?
Well, I kind of wonder, because one of the things I do wonder when wrestlers in particular do stuff on social that doesn't seem like it's scripted and then it benefits them. I almost wonder if it was all scripted. That's kind of one of those things, because it's like, you had I think it's Triple H last week and then Nick Khan the week before saying, social media doesn't play a part on how they, create stories and do stuff. So I'm wondering if it's all, they're using social media and using the wrestlers within their social media to kind of create more of a story. How does this play out? It seems like his character throughout the years has evolved, because there wasn't quite as much of an understanding in the beginning, but now I'm kind of seeing the almost funny, comical, yet sinister character all wrapped into one. So I'm really interested to see how this will play out as far as with who and the opportunities. But I think this is another lane for another wrestler and another storyline, which is great to see. But I do definitely wonder with how WWE, like when you get signed, you get this big book of things, of rules that you can and can't do and all this stuff. I really wonder if it's all now a play. Like, okay, well, you can do this and you can have free range to do with this, and this is how we're going to reward you. So, maybe we'll see that in that Netflix series that comes out with the writers' room during the summer. But yeah, we'll
Have
see.
you all talked about this Netflix series
on Monday? Yeah, a little bit.
You talked about it.
I'm
Monday.
excited.
Okay.
They stole my idea.
I think it's a horrible idea.
Why?
I think it's absolutely horrible.
Why? Because
I'm going to tell you why. I know why you love it, but I'm going to tell you why it's horrible. Penn and Teller do not give you the history on how they do what they do with their magic tricks.
Mm-hmm.
They'll even host, they've got reality shows or competitions to see if you can fool them, but you don't give away the secrets to the magic tricks because it's not magic anymore. You don't go into the writing rooms for your favorite sitcoms, for your favorite movies, for your favorite television shows. We have not been in the writing room for Black Panther. We have not been in the writing room for any of the Marvel movies. We've not been in the writing room for Star Wars. We've not been in the writing room for Grey's Anatomy, which has been around for 17 seasons. We've not been in the writing room for any of those things. Why on God's green earth do we need to be in the writing room of the WWE? For what? Because here's the problem. The problem right now is we already don't believe what we see because we already know too much. So just now, what you just said just now proves my precise point, that you don't believe that what this man has been doing on social media is actually real because it's managed to be used inside of a space of a storyline. Because now okay, well, that could be used for a storyline and this is that. So now we don't even analyze wrestling for what we see. All we think about is what went into it. All we think about is it a work? Is it a shoot? Was this supposed to happen? Was it not supposed to happen? We're more intrigued by who was supposed to show up at WrestleMania than what was actually presented in front of us.
Right.
We have literally taken the business and broken it down brick by brick to where we can't even appreciate the business anymore. And because we want a behind the scenes, because we want to know what's in the writing room, what for? It's not going to make you watch the product anymore. Instead, it's going to make you dissect the product even more to where you can't even enjoy what you're seeing. And that's a complete waste. It's a complete waste.
I disagree, but we can agree to disagree.
Of course you disagree, because you like knowing the end from the beginning, which means you're not even watching pro wrestling for pro wrestling's sake.
Yeah,
I'm not.
You part of the problem.
You're not.
Yeah, you part. You part.
This is the issue. This is the issue. I was on another podcast earlier this week where we were talking about the lack of black male solo stars in WWE, and someone makes the comment and they say, well, wrestling is fake. You can just write it in. This is the problem. This is the problem. I'm talking. This is the problem. And this is why it bothers me so much. It bothers me because we have lost the art of what the sport is supposed to be in the first place. And now you got to take all of this time to now convince people, oh, no, that really happened. Oh, no, this is for real. Oh, no, that's for real. So now we don't even believe. When Kevin Owens came out 3 weeks ago and said that he's not going to be able to be at WrestleMania because he has to get neck surgery, and Randy Orton comes out, we're all waiting for the shoe to drop. And nobody believes that Kevin Owens is actually getting surgery. It's crazy. It's mind-boggling. And so going into the writer's room is horrible. It's absolutely horrible, and says to me that at this point, why do we even have a sport if you're going to go and see behind the scenes anyway, and you don't know what to do with it? Tell me what you're going to do knowing the information in the WWE's writing room. Please, somebody tell me that.
Well, I think for one thing, you have to, like, for instance, you can't do basketball and do a writer's room because basketball is as it plays out. I think that when you're calling
is
it,
is it though? Is it though?
So you're
because I would definitely not find it hard to believe that there's a writer's room for the NFL and the NBA.
So
I'm telling you, all sports is sports entertainment.
There's a writing. You're telling me that the champion for and NBA and NFL, that's already scripted. This is what you're not telling me.
I mean, look, all I'm gonna do is take you back to this Super Bowl in the Superdome. And the lights go out all of a sudden, and now the whole shit switches and shifts. Again, we've been watching wrestling for years. If you can't tell me some of these playoffs and finals gonna be looking like, is Mr. McMahon back there with this? Like, all of a sudden, Steph Curry, who been making the fucking same 3-point shots all season, all of a sudden for these next 3 games, somehow can't make these shits now? Come on. LeBron's been dominating for the last 6 months. Now all of a sudden this guy can't go in for a dunk to save his life? Mrs. McMahon has written all of sports entertainment. That's why he don't need to be in WWE no more. He didn't win moved over here now. And everybody's doing it.
I mean, I could see an angle where it has to do with money and people getting paid off, allegedly paid off to do certain things in order to sway certain things as far as gambling, because you're seeing betting, Bet MGM and Bet ESPN and all these betting things come up, which is now funding a lot of television, if you guys haven't noticed. So I can definitely see that being a play. But as far as the writing room, I can't call it.
So
however,
wait. I still want to get back to my question to you is, what is it that being in the WWE writing room is going to accomplish for you?
I think for me, and so I was going to get back to that. I think for me, it's a different, for me versus somebody else who hasn't been in the entertainment industry. So I agree with you as far as, I'll give you an example. When I came to LA and I used to do background work, and I saw how television was actually made, right? I can never look at a TV show the same again, because now I'm looking at, oh, they use 3 cameras for this. This is what the set actually looks like. Like the magic of television is gone. So I think from that experience, me wanting to know how everything works is different from the person who maybe the TV magic is still there. So when I look at, for instance, another example is radio, and I won't give all the secrets away, but radio, you're hearing somebody on the air, but they're not really on the air.
You just gave it away.
No, but I'm not saying who and the
No. But to that end, this is the thing. So first of all, those who are in the entertainment world, just because you are in the entertainment world does not mean that you turn around and number one, stop the entertainment space, but B, giving away the secrets to entertainment because you're in entertainment does not help those who are fascinated by entertainment. So for me, I sit back and say, for those who are privileged to be in the entertainment space, you figure out how you get a tour, how you get access, that type of thing. Broadcasting it on regular television for the world to see takes the entire magic away for everybody. People don't need to know how you shot a particular movie. What are they going to do with that? They don't even work in those spaces. So that now the next time they work, I'm sorry?
I feel like this is not a new concept. Like you have like Beyonce. Beyonce did this when she did behind the scenes for her concerts. Like, I feel like this is like, I get what you're saying, but I feel like this is not, the WWE is not breaking the mold by doing this.
Well, no, from a concert to
there's a difference between a concert and a sport. Yeah. The behind the scenes of how you put a tour together. Mm-hmm. Here's why that's different, because you're not going back and doing the same tour. Beyonce giving you behind the scenes of how the Renaissance tours happens after she's already got your money. Mm-hmm. And when she does the next tour, she's not doing the next tour the same way she did the previous tour. So you're still not going to be able to figure out how she did that. But we're going to watch this every single week, 2 or 3 times a week. So we're watching it happen in real time. And now we're sitting back going, instead of being enamored by the stories that are being presented to us and being enamored by the athleticism that's being presented to us, we're sitting back in the back of our minds going, well, is that what they wrote in the writing room? Is that what they meant to say? Is that what we're asking questions that were never meant to be asked? And then you wonder why the internet wrestling community goes crazy with all of the ridiculous theories that they have, because they already have too much information.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with movies. Like you need to know the entire movie before you go watch it. Like what happened to just getting a 1-minute trailer and then that be enough to go, hey, I'm finna go watch this movie. But no, you got to know the plot. You got to know everybody that's going to be in it. You got to know all the Easter eggs, everything, just so you can convince yourself to pay $20 to go sit in the movie and not watch a whole movie you already know. Or because you're entertainment, you're so eager to go tell everybody and their mama about it. For someone like myself who is in entertainment that doesn't want to know everything. I don't mind coming up with my own crazy theories and stuff, but I don't need to know, like, for example, the new Avengers. I didn't need to know all them people were in this damn movie whatsoever. Just tell me, Avengers Doomsday, May 26th. Shut up and take my money. But no, everybody has to know everything. I have to know how the sausage was made. Remember when you didn't want to know how the sausage was made?
Yep.
Now everybody want to know. No. I gotta know how all my stuff is set up. I gotta know who came up with this. I gotta know who decided that John Cena was gonna wear jorts during his heel promo. I gotta know who was the person that came up with Cody Rhodes' helmet so it can come up and pop off. So that way I know who I can go talk to and talk shit about on the internet. It's like,
well, I mean,
like the mama say, get you some business.
I feel like there's two people, because when you have, so for instance, you're talking about the movies, right? You have, or even here. You know, there are people within WWT and in general that don't want to know spoilers. Professor, on the weekend when pay-per-views come, you avoid WWT, right? Mm-hmm. I can respect that. I'm not going to go like, "Hey, Professor, this is what happened." However, I'm the type of person that I don't mind spoilers, and I think there's 2 types of people, and also too, I don't mind spoilers, and I'd still go and watch the movie, or I'll still go and watch the show, or I'll still buy the book. So
do you though?
What do you mean? Of course I do. When I read the back of the book, I still go back to the book and read the book.
Keep in mind, you did show up to watch the last match of WrestleMania.
Last match.
Well, I'm just telling you in your argument.
Yes.
That's because she was kissing babies and you know, all that stuff.
Exactly. I was delivering medication to somebody. So that's not my, like, I wasn't
For
just
3
sitting there.
hours?
Oh my gosh.
What kind of medication we talking about?
Here's my so never
So
mind.
many questions. I have
Let me
so
be
many
quiet.
questions.
Let me, because I'm gonna go too
That
far.
sentence, that was a lot in that sentence.
What kind of
Oh my
medication we
God.
talking about? It's a TV show.
Who you
I mean, it
know?
was 420 weekend.
I know. Who you
What?
knew in Vegas? And why weren't we on it?
Wow. Next story. What
Let
do we
me
got
find
now?
out TK got the supply. We're
Right.
not talking about
Let
the
me
body.
find
builder.
TK the plug.
She got the supply.
So this is another very hot topic right now. The roast of WrestleMania, which featured Tony Hinchcliffe, happened, of course, following WrestleMania Sunday. And there have been recordings floating around the internet of all that happened in that room. Well, it is happening right now that WWE is actively pursuing the removal of all of the recordings of the WrestleMania roast. They've issued several takedown notices to prevent unauthorized distribution of the audio. Councilman, I want to come to you. No, let me go to you, Courtney. You're PR. I'm going to let you do your PR on this. Why do you think the removal of this audio for this roast is becoming a thing?
I'm just going to say this because when I first saw this idea, I thought it was a horrible idea. Absolutely horrible. Because first off, if you didn't want the audio coming out, and especially with the fact, because there is reports floating around that Nia said some things about Charlotte's recent divorces. Somebody said something about Jinder Mahal regarding his nationality. And also Nia said something about Cody that was a little bit risque, but I guess. But anyways, looking back at it, it's like you knew who was hosting the roast. You knew what controversy that it was going into, but you still did it anyway. Not to mention with the fact you had the Department of Secretary in the audience. That's also another layer to think about. So there is, it's just pretty much a mess. It is very messy. And honestly, if they wanted to do a roast, you could have at least picked another comedian. You could have picked Gabriel Iglesias, because at least he's a fan and he's a comedian on Netflix. Or you could have picked another superstar. You could have done Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn recently did a comedy show that was sold out. So I don't know who back there really picked, but they really did a piss poor job of picking. And also with the fact, if you didn't want it, if you didn't want to air, then why'd you do it in the first place? So there was no accountability. There was nothing with that. So you made your bed. You got to clean it up.
Councilman, to Courtney's point, do you think that this roast was a good idea?
I think the roast was a good idea. The people you selected to do the roast, like Courtney said, was a horrible idea. I actually know Tony. I also know another comedian on there by the name of David Lucas. I was there when they started their comedic roasting whole spiel, and they used to do it with a company called All Def, who also does roast me. I don't think this is fully WWE. I also think this has to do with Netflix probably putting a little bit of pressure on them to have him be a part of it just because of his new special that's coming out on Netflix. But if you're familiar with his show, that's how a lot of his stuff goes. It's a lot of crass. It's a lot of like, ooh, okay, this definitely pertains to a particular type of audience. But even more so, they do not try to filter it even for the sake of a superstar. So like we know, like even at a Wale Mania, Wale will know, how to keep a person steered, because we know a couple people might be enjoying the event and stuff, but you at least have folks that are watching them. Tony does not. That man will straight leave you at the edge, let you say whatever you want, and then have to face the consequences later. Now, to Courtney's point, if you would have had Comedy Central do this roast, if you would have people who would have actually looked at cards in preparation of what jokes are going to be said, or even have some comedians write these people's roasts. Like comedians write John Cena's promos all the time. You could have done this if you were going to have a Nia Jax there, if Braun Strowman was going to be there. Hell, if even Paul Heyman to help. But a lot of this stuff wasn't scripted. A lot of this was off the top of their heads, and it would just became a clusterfuck. And you could see why they want to take all that stuff down, because it is going to become very problematic for TKO if some of the stuff that they said becomes viral, made into memes, made into a whole bunch of stuff. It's gonna cause a lot of issues.
Didn't he do Tom Brady's? Wasn't he at the Tom Brady roast too?
He was, but he wasn't like the person.
He wasn't
He was
hosting.
he was one of the guests.
Yeah, but
he
was. If you watch that roast and that snippet that he did, I can only yeah, they can't air that because
Now you watch his YouTube shows. His YouTube shows wild.
Yeah,
like,
Tom Brady like he wishes he never did it. Then that should have been a clue for WWE to no, that's probably not a good connection.
So, said, let me go back to my original question, which is, why do you think WWE is going the route of trying to take this down, given the fact that they advertised the roast, and B, wouldn't there be some sort of expectation that somebody somewhere would be recording it? So why do you think that they are going the route of taking it down, since they advertised publicly that they were having it and invited people to it?
I'm going to take a different stance than everybody else is taking. And I think it's piggybacking off the conversation we just had with the reality TV show that's coming out. It's because it wasn't meant for everyone. It was meant for the audience that was there in attendance. It was supposed to be an intimate setting, and they supposedly confiscated cell phone devices before going in, similar to a Chappelle show, but there was always going to be like one bad seed to record. And now everybody is privy to what was supposed to be intimate, that setting. You got people calling for Nia Jax's job for some things that's said. And I just want to be clear that while we can critique the jokes and how insensitive they were, we don't know these people. I don't know Nia and Charlotte's relationship. I don't know if they joke like that in private, but this was something that's being made public now. And I have to feel like some of the jokes between at least a superstar like Paul Heyman and Nia that made these jokes were done because they have the relationship and the gravity to say those things, and not because they are doing it out of spite or out of hate. I don't know. So that's where I think the DMCA strikes are coming down to remove that, because when it goes into a downward spiral, now everybody knows this. We're looking at it from our lens instead of their lens as the performer and the comedian doing the stand-up bit. Mm-hmm. Paul Heyman was on McAfee the day after, and he said that he'll go toe-to-toe on the mic with anybody. He said that him and Fluffy got into it because Fluffy took offense to some of those things. But at the end of the day, it's comedy. We can't treat comedy as if it was somebody really attacking somebody. Now, I know some things might have been kind of low bar to say, but again, I go back to the fact that, hey, we really don't know these people. We don't know if they cleared these jokes before saying them or anything like that. So while a lot of it could have been sensitive, I'm saying coming from the comedic standpoint, but for performer standpoint, we shouldn't be calling for performers in the WWE's job, because I don't know the relationship with one another for Nia to say a joke about Cody or about Naomi and Jade. I don't know. They might crack on each other like that behind closed doors, but the problem is this is now public. So now you got to go do some damage control.
So, honey, let me ask you this, because, we're talking about two very interesting things. We're talking about the WWE, we're talking about a roast, and we usually don't see the two rolling together. And much to said and the councilman's point, when these roasts happen, and they happen, on many levels, whether it's at the White House or for any political figure or someone's birthday or what have you, when a roast happens, it usually has someone's green light, right? Mm-hmm. The question that I have is, and it's two-part: should the roast have happened? And if so, should it have been publicized? And I guess then the part 3 of that was, since it was publicized, should we be trying to pull the audio down? So let's start with, should there have been a roast in the first place? And if there was, should it have been publicized? And when I say publicized, remember, there were commercials
Mhm.
on WWE television
Yeah.
advertising the roast. There were places for you to buy tickets to the roast. So it was open to the public. Should there have been a roast, and should it have been available to the public?
To be honest, me personally, I wasn't really down for the whole roast thing. I just thought that it was just something else that they added that was just going to pretty much, be part of the festivities for the week of WrestleMania. I think they were also just experimenting with this kind of thing because they see how much traction roasts do get. I feel like WWE probably didn't know what they were walking into quite like too much, like as far as like what they expected and how raunchy and how harsh this was going to be or come off to some people. But I personally don't think I needed the roast. I don't think it should have happened. But since it did, but if it happened, if it didn't happen yet, I would hope that I don't think should be publicized. I mean, I think that they could have had like it pre-recorded and been able to deal with certain things and cutting certain things out or maybe something like that. But I personally didn't need the roast. I barely have seen any clips or heard anything. Like I've only seen maybe a couple of things that some people have said, but it's nothing that you wouldn't hear in a regular roast. But I just think that maybe WWE probably walked into like a brick wall with that one and didn't really think too much about like the repercussions of how hard these jokes were going to hit in, to certain individuals, being that they deal with all kinds of things in there. WWE is a very inclusive brand. They present themselves as an inclusive brand for all people. So the whole body shaming thing, the whole racist thing, like, I don't know. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think we needed it.
All right, I'll pose this question to you, TK. The weekend of Mania this year, specifically for WWE, featured many more events than they have in the past. It's normally Smackdown, NXT, Hall of Fame, WrestleMania, Raw. This year, on top of that, we had WrestleMania after parties every night. We had the one dead man show with Undertaker, and then we capped off the evening WrestleMania Sunday with this roast. Did the roast do more harm than good? And is the roast further proof of what we talked about earlier about too many people getting way too much insight into the business that they don't need?
I mean, to piggyback off of what Honey said, I don't believe, with all the research that WWE does in general on everything, I can't believe that they went into this blindsided, like not knowing what the possible outcome would have been. They research everything. So for them not to, unless there is somebody in a higher position, I think somebody said it in the chat where TKO was more pushing for stuff like that. And we did, and I think I did make note of that on Monday, where the fact Netflix was involved and TKO was involved. It felt like there was more installations everywhere. Like Chime had something going on, and there was something everywhere, like to the point that you really didn't even, if you didn't have the funds and to drop $500 for a ticket, you could still watch WrestleMania at a pool in the Palms and still be amongst wrestling fans. So was it a mistake? We're talking about it, and there's some people in that feel like any news or any discussion about something is good news. Like we're still talking about WrestleMania a week later or 5 days later. So because WWE is such a juggernaut, is it a mistake where they'll lose things? No. Is it a mistake where wrestlers will be fined or anything like that? No, because like I find it very hard to believe that that Netflix, that WWE, that TKO had this event, whether it's intimate or not, and not expect something to go wrong and how they were going to deal with it. Going forward, I honestly think that it's just going to get bigger and bigger. There are going to be even more events because it's such now wrestling is so hot right now. We're seeing the blend of Netflix and WWE. We're seeing, shows, comedians who have stuff that drop on Netflix, and we're seeing them at the shows. How many, almost every show that we see now, there's a celebrity that's in the front that they're highlighting. So do I think it's going to get bigger and there's going to be more things that are happening? Yes. Do I think this roast is going to happen? Probably, but I feel like if they're smart for it to be all inclusive, kind of like what Courtney was saying, take comedians who are actually wrestling fans who can, be able to do it properly, and they can blend the wrestling with the comedy and, put it all together. I think that would be a better bet, because if this doesn't see the light of day, then, you're not getting eyeballs on it. There's no eyeballs on it. Then, you're losing money, because it's the more views on certain things. That's how it all goes. So, long story short, I think it still is going to happen. And I think this is not the end of an extensive. We had, I think it was like 19 events that supposedly happened. I'm sure there's way more than 19. Probably like 30 plus wrestling events that happened, not including all the little installations and all the stuff that happened around the city too. Because
overall, they said mainstream and overall indie and every single thing wrestling related during Vegas week was like at least 150.
Yeah, it was insane. Because even what the pool party that we were at was done by Mojo, and I think that week they might have put in maybe 5 or 6 events, and that's just them.
So you were at a pool party?
I was at a pool party with Seth and Will on the Sunday.
As your everyday Laura, that did not help anything.
Oh my goodness.
You know who did a good job of blurring the lines between like wrestling fan with something different was Wale Mania with the rap battle.
Yeah.
They hosted a rap battle with popular battle rappers that incorporated wrestling theory, storylines, lyrics, and it was done very tastefully and very well. So, I mean, I think I have clips of it, so look out for those. But that was something that was done intimately, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't broadcast like that, but that was fun to hear.
Yeah.
And even to your point, TK, like somebody like Kev on Stage would have been a great like wrestling fan comedian that could have done the roast, or even too like maybe focusing on somebody, like like the roast of Paul Heyman,
right?
And then you get like a list of those people, and then it's like just giving it a little bit of different structure. But again, I still say it has to do, I think, a little more heavy on Netflix, them coming out with his show and really trying to push that along with wrestling.
The last thing I'll say about that is, if indeed this has been influenced by a Netflix and a TKO or what have you, Netflix specifically, I will say that Netflix, their focus in terms of their audience is far different than WWE. So Netflix, will be able to post these kinds of specials and nobody blows back on Netflix on that. With WWE being a company that is still very much attempting to be family friendly, these kinds of comments that are out there don't bode well for the audience that they tend to go after. So it'll be interesting. All right. So before we go, there are 2 quick things I want to get into. One also came out of WrestleMania weekend, which is, Natty Neidhart, aka Natalya, her involvement at Bloodsport. Come on,
the boat.
Her involvement at Bloodsport.
Respect the boat.
Her involvement at Bloodsport led into a confrontation with the NWA's Kenzie Paige. Kenzie Paige then went on and attacked Natalya at Natalya's training school. It is now turned into a match that will take place at the NWA's Crockett Cup event in Philadelphia on Saturday, May 17th, where the NWA World Champion Kenzie Paige battles Natalya for the first time. What do you see happening from this? And do you think Natalya will become the NWA Women's World Champion, Councilman?
I gotta go first. you were holding me off the whole time. You gonna make me go first?
All right. Well, I'll go to TK first. How about that?
I think this is I think this
Oh,
is
wow.
good. Yeah, I told you I was sick. I think this is good. I liked seeing, I mean, Natty, we've seen her, she's been in the game for a long period of time, and seeing her cross different promotions, seeing her at Bloodsport, seeing her at NWA, and seeing this kind of the blend of television and social media and how it's going. And this is going to draw more eyes, kind of like what happened with TNA when Trin was there. People who weren't familiar with Impact and TNA, they watched it because of Naomi, and I hope that they stayed even after she left. And I feel like this is going to bring more eyes to NWA as well. And I think this is going to be a really great match. It would be cool if Natty does win. But this is where the lines, the business of everything kind of happens behind the scenes, and we see what happens. But I think it's going to be a really great match, and we definitely have to tune in for that. So I'm for it.
I'm going to say this, and this just goes to my earlier point, and then I will ask somebody else. Never mind. Honey, go ahead. Same question.
I believe in the boat the same way I believe in Bret Hart. I don't see why she wouldn't be able to do it.
Wow, you did that for the counselor. That's hilarious. Courtney, do you think it will be possible that a WWE star will hold an NWA World Championship?
I'm sad I'm going to miss this match in person because it's near me in Philly. And I am so happy to see Natty. Going back to your question, this is actually really interesting because I actually wouldn't mind seeing it. Because somebody, and I think somebody can fact check this, would be really cool to see. And also opening that forbidden door. And you know what? I'm supporting the boat. I want her to win. I really want her to get that belt. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going for the boat.
She don't care what nobody says.
Okay. Well, Mayor, since the councilman just wants to wait, do you think that there's a world where Kenzie Paige defeats Natalya and retains the NWA Women's World Title?
Natty's in NWA. Did we clear this with Ice Cube or Little Ice Cube? We talking about the NWA? No.
Wow.
You know what? On a serious note, I did want to attend Bloodsport last weekend, but TK told me no, and I couldn't go there. But I know this had a lot of great fanfare, seeing Natalya in that light and this new persona she's taking on as the low-key legend. So I think it's a good thing to kind of showcase that outside of WWE, to encourage those writers that we'll see in WWE Unreal in a few brief months to kind of listen to the wrestlers and how they want to portray themselves. So if that's going to work for Natty, keep in mind she's doing the Mercedes gimmick now with trying to go to other promotions and bring them more shine. I think it's a good thing that she can and probably will win that NWA title, because what I think we're seeing behind the scenes is a little bit of a acquisition war, if you want to call it that. With AAA being acquired by WWE recently, I don't think it's any coincidence that Dwayne was in the New Japan t-shirt just a week ago. I think we're going to start seeing that. And I don't know if that's good for the sport as a whole, because wrestling has a lot of different places where people can be. But I think it'll shine a little light on NWA, on Natty's character work this deep into her career as well. But I think that's a sign of things to come with, as far as don't do that, Special Little Nobodies. Don't do that. I think that's a sign of come of more company acquirement as well.
Okay. So this should be interesting. Again, remember that's May 17th for NWA Crockett Cup. I think that should be fantastic. All right, before we get out of here, Smackdown is going down tonight. And of course, we are going to have a live watch along, of course, with the sweetest of all ooses. And scheduled for tonight, we will see Zelina Vega take on Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Championship. John Cena makes his return to SmackDown as the WWE Champion. And then a TLC match for the WWE Tag Title The Street Profits defend against the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. Again, that goes down tonight on SmackDown, top of the hour. Make sure you guys are tuned in for the watch along with Honey to get the live reactions over the next 3 hours. All right, let's get on out of here. Councilman, how can the people find you?
What can I just ask something real quick?
Sure.
Why these people keep playing with me in my face? Why is Nick Aldis playing with me in my face? 2 matches we should have had on the WrestleMania card, and you simple Men's Warehouse wearing bastard gonna put it on this Friday? We wanted TLC at WrestleMania. You gonna put it on SmackDown. Zelina Vega versus Chelsea for the title, and you don't put it on. I was about to say something real messed up, and I had to conduct myself because I don't want to get TK in trouble.
Oh, TK gets TK in trouble. Don't you worry about that. Don't worry about that.
But why are these people playing in my face like this? That's all I want to know. Why are they playing with me like this? I am. I really because like it's different when you think about it, but when we have a whole show where we predicted this and this was on our fantasy booking cards, like yo,
it really was though. It really was. Only we had 4 teams in the TLC.
And we now go, you know what? We're going to get that to you on SmackDown. But we go give 30 minutes of Travis Scott. That's what we're going to do. And 20 of that was him getting down the ring. Okay. But we got to have 45 minutes of Jay walking through the entire Allegiant Stadium rather than just bring his happy ass down the ramp. Okay.
Why would that man play games with me? Why would you play games with me?
I'm tired about
right.
SmackDown. I'm tired about that.
So, but where can the people find you again?
Yeah, where can they find you?
You can always find that Mandy Rose is not a double champion. At all times. You can always find me there. You can also continue to watch my podcast, 63 Days. We are on day 33 of Julia's illustrious championship career. We're talking about that NXT episode where she was not there, but the match still felt her presence throughout the whole night. So make sure you check out that podcast.
Courtney?
Okay, so the people can find me here on WWT Live every Wednesday. Timeless Elite Wednesdays, because I do AEW Dynamite. And, well, I made a prediction because I want to put out predictions while I'm not here. Mercedes Moné is going to get screwed at Double or Nothing. That's my prediction right there. And I made that at my watch along. I'm just saying. But they can find out more on Wednesday on why I made that prediction. But they can also follow me here. And ironically, Jacob said I don't be running the streets as Will and Seth do. I be running the streets, but I'm over in Wall Street doing business.
Wait, first off, I get thrown in this.
You weren't here on Monday.
I run the cul-de-sac. That's what I run. I don't know about the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to be back inside when the street lamps come on. I got put into this. I don't be going out at night. I saw sinners. I don't go outside at night like that. That's when the sin is out.
Well, I be taking care over in Wall Street because I do have some business, but the people can follow me on social. They can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and see everything that I've done. And also, well, you can also follow ISPW Wrestling because I'm going to be doing commentary with them in the next couple of weeks. You can also see me and Honey on May 10th because we're going to be at 90s Wrestling Con. So be prepared. We got some content going. We're just getting started because it's going to be a very good summer for WWT.
Professor's face. Oh my god.
I'm just gonna give the rest of this to you, TK. I'm done.
This is look. If you go blame anybody, blame the people that booed Bianca Belair. They are the ones.
I don't even know what just happened. I don't know what just happened.
Apparently, Courtney's in the Wall Streets, not in the streets that Sed's in. Honey, where can everybody find you?
You can find me here tonight at 8:00 doing my watch along, just chilling like a villain. Honey Night Smackdown. Here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every now and then. Also catch me on the Kayfabe podcast with the Councilman and Dion. And you can also find me at my new podcast called Welcome to the Dirty Era.
You damn right. We are in Scumbag City now.
Hashtag F your dude wipes.
Oh.
Chicken tendies for everybody.
That's about to pound the streets.
This is the correlation.
That's on my bingo
card.
What
is the correlation?
Yes. It's on my TK bingo card. Yep.
I didn't say it though.
You played it. You played it. Anytime we know, and we know you played it. Yeah, you wasn't here, Cedric. We're doing TK bingo. I'm making a TK bingo card. And I'm gonna send it to you. We're gonna play bingo when she on here.
Ced, where can everybody find you?
Well, I just want to point out that I'm glad that Courtney is in the Wall Street. I love seeing my WWT colleagues get paid since I don't. I would like to point out that I am still here for Men's Warehouse in their suits, unlike the councilman. I will take Men's Warehouse suits and sponsorships. I come equipped with my own bow tie, just so you know. I can be your guy.
It's Burlington's over here, guys. That's what we banging.
But I guess you can find me on the social streets at says on Twitter. Said it's the answer on the gram. I'm still I have a whole hard drive of interviews I got to get out. I met a lot of lovely young men on the Vegas streets for the love of TK, and I will be actually broadcasting these. Please don't send me your unsolicited pictures, though. I will format those and get those to TK's DMs, but you can send all your unsolicited pics of you know what to at TK Trinidad on all social media. But all the interviews and stuff like that, I'm slowly uploading them to our WWT archive so TK can say yay or nay. So please, for the love of TK, coming just before Cinco de Mayo, we're going to have a nice piñata, some balloons and stuff like that. So TK can find love. That is my only objective for the rest of 2025. There will be a lot of interviews coming out from WrestleMania weekend. We had a great time being the councilman, me and the professor at Fourth Rope, NXT, and a lot of other shows. Look out for all those things in the near future. I don't know what else I got to promote, 2-year anniversary. But nobody cares. The TK doesn't care. But
happy anniversary, sir.
Yeah.
Well, happy anniversary.
Until next
anniversary, sir.
Also, speaking of in the streets, I think one thing Professor did not mention. It was so dope to be in the Vegas streets and see how many people came up to him with this big ass smile on their face because of how much he impacts them in the wrestling community.
This is very true. This is very true.
So many people that stopped that was just like, yo, I love your work. And I just love seeing Professor get his flowers while we were out and about. I thought that was dope.
Thank you.
Love to see it.
Selfishly, I wish the professor wasn't so humble. I want to look up people and be like, yeah, you know what the fuck this is?
I was ready like security, yo. Like, whoa, hey.
Like, back up. Yeah, don't get too close now.
No, he's not taking
pictures
pictures.
in a minute. Pictures. Give him a second.
Hold on now, there, fella. Gotta pat you down real quick. See what you. All right, he's good, Professor.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you bought tickets to the seat? Well, not today. The professor's sitting right here.
Oh.
Stand up.
The seat check right here.
Wow. Thank you, guys.
I dare somebody to ask us who's the professor. I dare somebody. Like, what? Blasphemy.
Professor, with that being said, where can everybody find you?
Wow. Well, thank you for that, Councilman and said. I appreciate you guys. You can find me at Bonafide across all of the social spaces. You can check out some of the work that happened in Vegas. Ashe Vegas is available right now at ashewrestling.com. Check it out. I had the amazing privilege of hosting that show. Along with doing several interviews during the show. So definitely check it out. You can check out, of course, our work with All Caribbean Wrestling tomorrow night. It's part of Saturday Night Vibe, airing 6 p.m. Eastern on Tempo Networks and, of course, on the All Caribbean mobile app. And you can find it on Triller TV as well. So make sure you check that out. Also, my work with the Nightmare Factory Student Showcase 17 is up now. You can check that out on the Nightmare Factory's YouTube page, official WWE ID school. So check that out. Lots of fun. Latest episode of Southern Honor Wrestling is up right now as well on IWTV. So check that out also. And yeah, just follow me at Bonafide. All kinds of fun and great things are happening over there. And you just never know where you'll catch me next.
Mm-hmm.
Will, where can everybody find you?
Oh, I don't mind saying this again. You can always find me at Mandy Rose is not a double champion at all. But I've said mine, so I'll take this to go. I'm going to give you your compliment on camera, so you say that it actually happened, TK. Shout out to TK because she was very quick at whatever it is we were looking to get into this past weekend. She definitely went above and beyond to make sure like our names were on there. She gets a 97 because some of her stuff could have used some work. Like I didn't know what I was supposed to be as under to get me into Heels Have Eyes, but my name was on there, so I just had to figure out the rest. But anytime we asked, she was on it like that. She's like, "Yo, your name's on it. Your name's on it." And I was like, "You know what, man? Appreciate that, TK." I still don't have nobody but it though.
You didn't put your name on that list.
Once again, I've delivered things to your house multiple times. Where the body butter is. Like a jar could come out with you.
It could
and be left in my car. There's always that.
Well, I just made like a whole batch. So if you want to come today, you can grab it.
Do we get to go to do we get the behind the scenes of how the butter is made, just like
that
WWE
part?
Real?
That part.
Yeah, you can actually check it out on my
You
social
see
media and center
hands
in.
getting up in the.
No, you don't put your hands in there.
I want to be in the writer's room when you come up with the
What is the
sentence.
Port of Spain for if it's massage candle? What is?
Oh, the massage candle, you burn it. It's a mix of cocoa butter and coconut wax, and you can actually dip your hand in it like so, and then use it as lotion.
TK, you a freak, dog. That's some freaky shit right there.
It's not. You can use it as lotion.
Yo,
it's called aromatherapy. It's not necessarily freaky.
I don't do things I can't spell. Okay, so I don't do what you said to me.
Oh my god!
If that's what y'all doing over there. That's what y'all doing. I don't know nothing about no. I went to high school with a girl named Aroma. I don't know about her doing therapy and stuff right now. I don't know nothing about that.
All right, y'all. You can find me everywhere at TK Trinidad. Make sure you check out Women's Wrestling Talk on all social media platforms at wwtalkpod.com. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show. Oops, hold on. Let me get this right. Because somebody switched out the intro. There we go. The #1 women's.
No, I'll fix that. Don't do that. I'll fix all of that.
Ciao.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at wwtalkpod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at wwtalkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.